This is the progress monitoring training session for grades 5 through 8. First thing you will need to do is find the progress monitoring assessments, which can be found in the intervention services folder. This should be in your Google Drive. Once you are in the intervention services folder, you will choose RTI 2 and then math and then 5th through 8th grade. For this training, we're going to look at the progress monitoring section, and it will open up the progress monitoring page that has all of your instructions and all of the links you will need for the progress monitoring. Based on data from the Universal Screener as well as any formative and summative classroom assessments, you will identify a target area for your learner. Based on that information, you will choose one of the following modules to begin with. These are not in a progression, meaning that you do not have to start with equivalent fractions and then move to ratios and rates. If your learner only needs to work on ratio and rates, you can begin on this module. Once you have identified the area of deficit for your learner, you will print out the pretest. You just click on here. That will be the test that you will print out. This will be given before any of the intervention lessons have been started. This is labeled later on as Form A, and the post-test will be labeled as Form B. Once the pretest has been given, then you will begin the intervention lessons. The scores from the pretest will be logged on the intervention tracking sheet. This was already downloaded when you inputted your Universal Screener data, so instead of re-downloading it, you should find it on your computer and use that file. Once you have gotten to your intervention tracking sheet, you can see that it usually defaults to going to one of the students tabs here at the bottom. If you remember, you already filled out the first screener tab with all of the universal screening data. Once you're ready to input the data, you will click on Student 1, and this student you can rename to the student's name just for ease. Then you'll input the information, so you'll put in their name, their grade, we chose 5th grade here, teacher, and then the school. Once you've inputted that information, you can choose the module. When you click the box underneath the word module, you'll see a drop-down button show up. If you click on that, you can choose whatever module you've been working on. So if we've been working on equivalent fractions, you click that and it will automatically put it in the box. Once you finish that, you can put in the date in which you gave the Form A, the pretest. Underneath Form A is where you will put the total number correct. So if the student got 34 correct, then you would put 34 in that box. There's an area to track the number of correct items that the student has made on the independent practice pages. If you look, there are 17 slots, but these may not all be used. Based on whatever module that you're using, there may be fewer than 17 independent practices. This is all in your teacher's manual. It'll tell you how many there are. When you are inputting the score for the independent practice sheet, you will type in the score as number correct out of total number of items. Again, if there were 5 items and the student got 2 correct, you would do 2 out of 5 items. If you notice that these do not populate this graph over here, but the Form A did show up. Once you have finished all of these independent practices or the number that the module requires, then you will give the student the post-test or Form B, and you'd put in the date that you are giving them this test, followed by their total number correct. So if they got 36 correct, then you can see that the graph automatically populated that data for you. The most important part after completing all of this is to make sure that you push the save button. Otherwise, all of your work will go to waste. Thank you for watching this progress monitoring training video for grades 5 through 8.